Let's say the Avatar didn't exist. How would this affect the story and the world of Avatar as a whole? The whole idea of the story is that the Avatar, the master of all four elements, brings balance to the four nations and stops whatever threats that interfere with that. The Avatar has existed for 10,000 years, and after Korra will most likely continue for another 10,000 years, unless somehow Korra fucks it up more than she already has, especially for the next Avatar, that being Pavi. But let's say that Wan never steps foot out of the Lion Turtle City he was in. For one, the spirit wilds would still exist and humanity could potentially still be on the Lion Turtle Cities unless for some reason infighting destroyed that. They would never have thought to go out into the spirit wild since Wan never left. And as a result, each nation, if you want to call them that, is stuck in their respective part of the world on their lion turtle. Meanwhile, without Wan interfering between Rava and Vatu, she would have never gotten hurt and be forced to merge with Wan in order to defeat Vatu. So instead, like clockwork for what I'm guessing they'd done countless times before, they'd fight and the world would still remain. Vatu wouldn't be in prison, but would fight Rava again in due time, well, to them anyway. It's still like 10,000 years in human years. Wan would most likely either have died in the spirit wilds or could have instead been executed for stealing food, and as a result of his death he wouldn't reincarnate since he's not merged with Rava, and bending as a whole is never really even created. People would only use the elements for crude and more practical living type of things, like firebenders hunting or airbenders using it to levitate to get food. Without bending, the Avatar, or people leaving the Lion Turtle cities, the four nations would have never even been created and the population would have been far less than what it normally was in the series. But anyways, let's say Wan still did survive and learned bending but never interfered with Rava and Vatu and never merged. He'd still travel the world and learn firebending from dragons. He wouldn't be able to learn other forms of bending, but he could go back and teach the people of his Lion Turtle City how to bend and venture out into the spirit wilds. The spirits would always be with him and they'd most likely clash from time to time, but with Wan at the helm, this could start the very beginning of what the Fire Nation could turn into. Of course, there'd be infighting and warlords trying to topple the other, but if Wan focuses on his people, he can very well band them all together. Maybe even becoming the very first Fire Lord instead of the Avatar. He'd visit the other Lion Turtle cities, and after seeing the start of a human nation, this could give others the same idea and create different versions of the Earth Kingdom, Water Tribes, and Air Nomads and Air Temples. Of course, there'd be a lot more struggle, fighting, and wars, but given enough time, even without the Avatar, the four nations could, in theory, still be created, but very well also be destroyed due to some threat that no one could stop because there's no Avatar. But all this is just one big what if, but what do you think about all this? Aside from that though, if you enjoyed the video, then be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.